Are you thinking about moving to Greece? Here is what it's really like, from the rent prices to making friends, plus a few things nobody tells you. I'm Marc Alcobé, host of Expat Experts podcast, and I'm originally from Sabadell, which is a city close by to Barcelona, but I lived in Athens, Greece for nearly 4 years of my life. And this video tries to be an honest and my honest guide about the life there, the good, the bad, and absolutely the malakias. This video is part of the Expat Experts Life as an Expat series. So if you want to stay tuned with my life as an expat, but also hear about other expat experiences, don't forget to hit subscribe and also activate the notification bell so you are tuning in with the latest episodes and videos of this podcast.
Cultural adjustment.
Generically speaking, Greeks are very welcoming and warm and friendly, but like in all countries that you're arriving to, you need to keep in mind that you are entering their world. So basically, locals live there for all their life. So don't expect them to invite you to their inner circles from day one. So, as I said, generically, Greeks are very, very welcoming, but becoming part of their life and being a good friend to them and going closer to their inner circle, as I said, of friends, or like entering their life in a more relying way, you need to work on it. It's like everywhere, but I would say it's also due to this dichotomy between the hospitality and the whole way of the Greeks having service in restaurants, hotels, and everything, where they are very, very welcoming. It's different when you need to become good friends with them. So you need to work on that and foster that relationships with the Greek people. It's not, I would say it's very easy to meet people. It's rather difficult to enter and make very good friends for life. But once you're inside of their inner circle, then you are you are friends with them forever. Maybe a top tip or a pro tip that I would say regarding this is that you should chill and enjoy time outside. You need to go out, I would say. Um, league time in Greece, it's spent a lot outside of home, so being in the squares, having a coffee, etc., etc. And another good tip is that in Greece time it's flexible, so don't expect things to happen at the exact time that they were scheduled, whether that is like meeting a friend or waiting for a bus to pass. Things like take their time in Greece. That's something that at first drove me crazy because I'm a very organized and a very punctual person. But then I learned that at the end, a time with a nice Freddo espresso, it's also waiting for a friend. It's also an enjoyable time outside for yourself.
Social life.
As I already just said, meeting people in Greece is easy. Making good friends is another story. But with that known, I have two main tips that I recommend to everywhere or everyone who wants to live actually nearly everywhere. For meeting both locals and expats in a balanced way, which I think it's the most healthy thing to be. The first one, it's getting involved in activities. So, for example, joining a language exchange or joining sport groups or, I don't know, even improv classes. So I actually took improv in Athens for a lot of years. And there I met a lot of good friends now that I still have as good friends nowadays. But I also played futsal in there. And my Greek friends mostly come from sports. So yeah, definitely if you want recommendations about life in Athens and specific sports or team events that you could join and want recommendations, leave a comment and I will be there, of course, trying to support as much as I can. And the second one, it's together with what I said. Greeks love socializing, and coffee culture is something very important. It's huge in Greece. So if you want to deepen a relationship with a Greek person, I think the best thing that you can do is inviting them for coffee, sitting down in a nice platea in a nice square with a Freddo espresso, and that will deepen your relationship with that person and see where it goes.
Language.
Always say regarding languages, you can survive in Athens and in the big cities of Greece, especially like Athens, Thessaloniki, but in general with English, especially in those tourist areas. mainly because the Greeks do speak an incredibly good English, I suppose, due to the fact of having uh, original language on TV and cinemas, only with subtitles, so the original versions, and that helps them to have the English that they have, which is, again, as I said, incredibly good. But I never recommend to do that. So if you go to a country, I think learning even the basic Greek, it's a show of respect for a culture and for a country, and this is no exception. Greeks really like when you do the effort of learning Greek. Um, so yeah, for me, try to learn Greek. It's a must in Greece, and it will help you in daily life, but it also in foster these relationships that we were just talking about. So uh, the Greeks that will should become your friends, the locals that will become your friends, of course, will help you to do that, because Greek is not an easy language to learn. It takes time, and I think nobody's really expecting in Greece that you speak a perfect Greek from day one, but they kind of very, very much value that you start learning the basics on greetings, on ordering food, drinks, and also the people on the restaurants appreciate that a lot. So I would recommend you to start with that, with the basics of Greece, especially for ordering food and drinks, for getting out a little bit and using that. Once you're a little bit more settled, and if you can afford it, I would really recommend to take private lessons or small group lessons, because compared to other places in Europe, the prices of private lessons and small group lessons are much more affordable than in other places. So I would definitely go for that approach, because it takes you one step further, and it agile makes the process a little bit more fast on learning a language. That's for sure.
Cost of living.
Now, when it comes to cost of living, overall, Greece can be more affordable than majority of the other Western European countries, and that's the perspective that I have of being lived in other places in Europe, such as Germany, Italy, Spain. Greece it's more affordable than all these places in general, at least in the big cities like Athens. I would say that in the center of Athens, you would need around between 800 and 1,500 monthly to live comfortably, including rent. This 1,500 is already on the top layer. I would say that the locals will tell you that that's a lot per person. But yeah, of course, that cost can go down if you decide to live a little bit outside of the city centers. And of course, if you decide to live outside of the big cities, that goes even lower. From my experience in Athens, what it's pricey in comparison to other places, it's the groceries, especially when it comes to dairy products and imported goods. Um, it's higher than in other places. And that was kind of surprising, because of course you also know that the salaries in Greece are lower. So I'm always surprised about the prices in supermarkets mainly. On the other hand, and I think compensating a little bit that, is the price of eating out. You can get delicious food everywhere and very affordable. Although, of course, you will also hear the locals complaining about the price increasing of souvlaki and pita in general through the last years. But still, from a other European country perspective, food it's very, very good and very good quality for a very affordable price. One thing that is also worth to remark from Greece, it's the insane increase of electricity price in Greece during the last years. I think it goes around a 40% since 2022. So of course it created a lot of discomfort from the locals, and you saw that. And when we were there, we clearly saw that the bills were skyrocketing, and there was demonstrations about it, which is not nice, because the salaries have not raised at all, but the bills have been raising a lot during the last years. And sometimes, I mean, especially AC in summer, and heating in winter, due to the isolation of the house not being very good, also can bring bills with big numbers. So definitely be careful with the utility bills.
Finding a home.
finding an apartment in Athens, and I only can speak about the experience of Athens because it's where I live, was and can be tricky, especially if you don't speak Greek. Again, we go back to the same. If you have the context inside of Greece and you speak the language, I suppose it would be a little bit easier. So, in general, most people use websites like Spitogatos, which is one of these portals for searching the flats. But what it really works is the word of mouth. So if you have another person or you know someone there, just tell them before going, and maybe they can contact, and definitely the word of mouth and saying things with locals, uh, it works in Greece. So basically, if you have a friend living there, use that connection, ask to them to ask people around them if they know of any free apartment or a room if you are a student and you're searching for that, because mouth to mouth really opens doors in Greece. Another topic, it's handling with landlords. Sometimes it's not really easy, as maybe they don't want to do things the most clear or legal way of doing things. So also be prepared to have sometimes some not so nice conversations with landlords in Athens, at least from the experience that we know.
Living like a local.
Living like a local. I'm of the opinion that you never are local 100% when you live abroad. But with that said, my recommendations to fit as much as you can in Greece will be try to learn Greek from day one, as I already said. Buy from local small shops that they will remember you if you buy regularly there. So you create this kind of connection and network of stores. Get around and get out of home as much as you can. Enjoy the time outside with any specific reason. Let's say like this: grab a coffee in a platea in the squares of your neighborhood. Get to sit up and enjoy the nice weather. That's one of the big reasons of being in Greece at the end. And definitely try to meet with local people. Don't do an expat bubble. Enjoy long dinners with friends, and definitely enjoy and embrace a little bit the slower piece of life with your free time. So yeah, at some point, as you can see, you will start using also hand gestures from and Greek expressions without realizing. So that's when, for me, you are closer to becoming a local, or closer to act like a local. Let's say like this.
Work life.
I'm no expert when it comes to work life balance in Greece because I work remotely, or work experience in Greece because I've worked remotely all the time that I was there. But I know from friends and from people that I know in there that the job market in Greece, it's hard and can be really challenging. It's not only the salaries that are relatively low compared to, or very low compared to, other European countries, but also the expected amount of work hours. Besides this false myth that Greeks doesn't work, that's actually not true. Greeks work a lot of hours, and definitely finding a job can be very challenging and difficult, especially if you don't speak proper Greek. So not an easy market, I would say. But in any case, many expats if end working remotely or in the tourism. So yeah. On the other hand, although the working hours are relatively long and the salaries are low, the Greek culture, it's more laid back, I would say, and they enjoy life more. And definitely, I would say it's one of these countries where life and your personal life, it's much more important than work life compared to Northern European countries. So that's one of the nice things of Greece for sure.
Getting around.
Again, here I can only talk about Athens in general, but I also been in Thessaloniki and other places. At least the metro, it's clean and reliable. Buses, it's another story. It can be less predictable, or if predictable at all, actually. But yeah, for going outside of the big cities, you normally need a car. And if you have the option, and here it's a little bit deep, go and explore the Peloponnese. Not all in Greece are islands, but if you want the islands, of course, you have the option of ferries, which are great to explore. But yeah, book ferries with some time in advance, especially in summer if you want to travel, because they can get expensive very quickly. Personally, I love driving my motorbike in Athens, but if you do that and you want to go that way, you will need to learn to drive the Greek way and navigate the chaotic traffic of the streets of the city. So, yeah, be careful and take care if that's the path that you choose to go with.
Healthcare.
So, regarding healthcare, at the end, Greece has a public healthcare system, free or low cost for the locals and also for the expats who are registered with an AMCA number, which is the number that you require to have a public insurance in Greece. Although many expats, however, just goes to private clinics for faster services and also to avoid extra hidden costs that might have. From my own experience, I did not have problems with healthcare in Greece. In fact, actually, I had a surgery on the knee while being there. But I must say that I had a private insurance due to playing sports in a competitive level. So I always turn around the private hospitals to when I had problems. But in general, I think that the level of doctors and hospital workers in Greece is high. But definitely the problem might rely or might be more on the system, which is definitely not the best. It lacks resources and it lacks money. I think it's also worth it to mention that some people I knew in Greece, locals and expats, had problems with doctors asking them from black money for their treatments. I don't think it's a generic rule in Greece, although it seems that it happened from time to time. And I never seen it personally, but I heard about it multiple times, so it's worth to mention it also.
Bureaucracy and paperwork.
Regarding this, first of all, clarifying at the end, I'm a European Union citizen, and therefore probably paperwork it's much easy for us, mainly because, of course, we don't require visa to live and travel through other European Union countries. But even with that, I must say that Greek and the Greece bureaucratical paperwork is notorious for being slow, kind of complex and very heavy paperwork processes where you still need to do a lot physically. Not a lot of these steps are digitalized, so it's not an easy way to or easy paperwork to complete and to do. I do have a specific video where I try to break the arrival paperwork steps that I would recommend for anyone who comes from another European Union citizen country. You can check it around here. I will leave the link. But for Greece, I actually, and especially if you don't speak the language, I really recommend getting an accountant or a lawyer for doing all these processes because they can be very complex.
Best and worst.
Best thing, maybe outside of the mainstream topics of weather and food, I really like the sense of community of the neighborhood. Like, although being in a big city like Athens, being in a neighborhood like Pankrati, in my case, felt like a village, in the sense that you start knowing the local shops, you know where to go to buy. They are small shops. You have everything that you need at hand close by. And also people start knowing us. So that's definitely one feeling that for being in a such big city felt very nice. Regarding the worst, I have two ones there. One, it's maybe more mundane in that sense, and that's definitely the difficult streets to walk yes, of the center. So it's not the most walkable city, let's say like this, and definitely maybe a little bit of lack of nice parks or natural spaces in the city center at least. And the second one, it's a classic, but it's definitely the bureaucracy. Paperwork in Greece can be needs a labyrinth, and it can be very difficult. So if you can afford, especially if you don't speak Greek, outsource that part to specialists because you can lose yourself very fast.
Top tip.
Easy, like in an over touristified country, don't act like a tourist. Connect with the locals, eat, drink, and shop in small local shops and tabernas of your neighborhood. And then definitely, if you are in Athens, embrace the chaos because it's the only way of living there, and that will embrace you back. You will end loving it somehow. And that's my experience in life as an expat in Greece in a very, very short and summarized way. If you are interested in knowing a little bit more about the life in Greece as an expat, as a foreigner, you can check the video series that you will find here about expats living in Greece, and videos about this in a series. Of course, if you are interested in more global expat experiences live, don't forget to follow the Expat Experts podcast, where we release an episode every 2 weeks about expats and their life abroad.